And now it is our turn, and I'm going to use a maneuver action. And on top of that, we are going to exhaust our title card. So that will allow us to do maneuver action twice. So I'm going to maneuver this archer into Austria. And then we are going to attack Moravia. That's going to be against a level 3 infantry barbarian units in the location, and they're also going to gain +1 cavalry unit because we have fought 3 of those already. So we're to give them that cavalry unit along with 3 infantry. And we will commence the battle beginning with a volley phase. For our volley phase, we have a total of 3 heavy crossbowmen, and they're going to be opening up on the barbarians. They'll be rolling 3 dice, 3 blue dice, and they're going to be hitting on a 3+. Here is our volley phase roll, and we have 1 hit. And I guess we will take the casualty as an infantry unit. We'll move on to the charge phase, and the barbarians have 1 cavalry unit. That'll allow them to hit on a 5+. 5+. I'm going to move this dice tower over a little bit. That's better. And they'll get a red dice, and they'll be attacking in the volley phase, or on the charge phase. They have 1 hit, and they're going to take, let's see, all of our units are level 2, and both of them have the same amount of hit points. So I guess it would make the most sense to get rid of the infantry unit that won't be able to attack in the next round. Now, we move on to the melee phase. Now we are within 1 space of a level 1 keep for our forces. So that is going to give us a +1 to 1 die when we're attacking. We're going to be rolling a total of 3 blue dice, and we're going to be hitting on a 4+, and then we have a +1 that we can apply to 1 die. Here is our melee attack with our heavy crossbowmen. And we've done 1 hit. So we will take infantry as a casualty. Now the barbarians are going to roll. They're going to be rolling a red die and a green die. They will be hitting on a 5+ for their infantry and a 6 for their cavalry. Here's their roll. They have no hits, so we will add up our battle strength. That unit has been consumed in the battle. We have a total of level 2, 2, 4, 6. He has level 1s, 1, 2. So we've won the battle. Those forces are eliminated. And let's see what kind of reward we get. And we're going to gain 1 culture point and an iron. All right, so we will add an iron to our inventory and gain a culture point. Move our culture up 1, and now we have access to first 3 cards now. We'll place that barbarian unit in our trophies area, and we're going to earn 4 victory points. It's going to move us up to 37. So right now the score is 37 to 41. And if we choose, we can conduct that free settling action. It's going to cost us 5, unfortunately. So we would have to wipe out the entire force to place a farm there. I think that's a little too expensive. So I think we are going to leave it as is. And we'll return to the Lordlings. They have 3 discs left. And they have a research card. They have already done a preparation token on research. We'll return that and find out what the effects of their research is. Here's the D20 roll. They rolled a 20, 2 victory points plus 1 for each common tech. Well, that's going to earn them a total of 4. They have 2 commons. So they're going to gain 4 victory points, moving them up to 45. And we will be placing one of their nobles on the research action. That's going to end their turn. And I think for our next action, we are going to take a development of culture action. It'll give us access now to any of these 3 cards. And I think I'm going to take the military upgrade, and we're going to eventually use that to advance our knights to level 2. It'll give us a little bit better attack during melee and a 4+ during the charge phase. So we'll add that to our hand, and presently we have a total of 5 cards in our hand. We'll slide these things down and see what else transpires. Next card is a surprise card. Uh-oh. On that surprise card, we're going to be rolling a D20 with those possible results. So it's going to be a good chance that it's going to attack the target province. All right, we're going to make a D20 roll and find out what the surprise is. This card is going to be discarded and immediately replaced with another card from the offer. It does not remain on the board. Here is the roll. The result is a 12, and that means an attack on the target city. All right, we will replace that card immediately. And this one is a reinforced card. Okay, so we have to make a roll. Result is a 15, and that is going to be to upgrade a raider. We have to do that right away. So we'll make a D20 roll and find out, consulting our player aid, what type of unit is going to be upgraded for the raiders. Roll is a 1, and they're going to be upgrading their infantry. So their infantry will become level 2, and now the Magyar raiders are going to launch an attack on Austria. And this is not going to end well for us. We do have a level 1 keep, and it being a city is going to give us a transient archer for defense. So the Magyar Raiders force consists of 2 cavalry, 2 infantry, and an archer. All we are going to get is a transient archer. That's due to the city. We are going to gain, because of the level 1 keep, a +1 die roll modifier to a single die. And we are also going to gain +1 to our defense level because of the keep. I don't think this is going to be enough though. And we're going to begin with the volley phase. Each of us is going to be rolling 1 blue die. And we'll start out with the Magyar Raiders. Their archers are going to hit on a 4+. Here's the roll. They rolled a 2, so they've missed. We're going to be hitting on a 3+. And we have missed. Well, we get a +1 for the keep. And I could play reinforced card played from the hand will give us a +1 die modifier in battle. That would give us +2. That would give us a hit. So I think we will do that. And I think we're going to take one of their infantry units as the casualty. Now we move on to the charge phase, and they have 2 cavalry units. We have none. They'll be rolling 2 red dice, and their cavalry are going to hit on a 5+ during the charge phase. Here is the roll. They have no hits. All right. So now we will move on to the melee phase. Magyar Raiders will have 2 red dice, 1 green die for their infantry, and 1 blue die for their archers. The red dice will hit on a 6. Green dice will hit on a 4. And the blue die will hit on a 6 as well. So here is the roll. We have a very slim chance of surviving this. And they have 1 hit. Their infantry hit. It's going to take 1 point of damage on our crossbowman, and that's enough to take it out. So he will be able to fire back, and he will do so. And he's going to hit on a 4+ during the melee phase. He rolled a 2. So we have lost the battle. This is going to have some dire consequences for us. After losing the battle against the Raiders, any retreating forces that we had left would retreat. There are none. We're going to remove all buildings, including grand buildings. So they are going to destroy that beautiful, great building that we created. The city and its keep from the lost province, except the starting production building. All right. That is not good. So all of the buildings are going to be destroyed, including our beautiful, great building. The city is out of play. It is removed from the game. The church is gone, and all that remains is the original production center in Austria. All the other buildings are out of the game. And Magyar Raiders hold the field. The disc now is going to be placed back onto our leader card. Next, we are going to add a random barbarian token to those forces. In this case, it was gain a wood and a leather. And then finally, either way, whether they won or lost, they're going to draw 2 new barbarian tokens and add them with the unit side up to the raiding party card. And those units we will draw and place on the card. And we place these with the military side up. First one is a bowman and 2 infantry. The second one is 3 infantry. So the Raiders card is now going to be the raiding force. That force of raiders will remain in Austria. There's some rules to add if we attack that province or if the lordlings attack that province. That was a definite blow to my realm. There is no doubt about that. It says here that any surviving raider units are left in the lost province. Then a random barbarian token is added to it, which they did. If you attack this province in the future, you fight the barbarians, not the raiders, but the extra units are added to the battle. If the lordlings maneuver into this province, they simply remove these extra units and place 1 infantry regardless of the number of barbarian tokens present. All right, so that is what is going to happen. That was terrible. And if things weren't bad enough, now it is the lordlings' turn, and they are going to execute persevere, so they're going to conduct that research action again. They're going to be placing their preparation token there, and now it'll be back to our turn. All right. Well, that was a grave strategic error on my part. I should not have gone after Moravia without having an adequate defense in Austria, especially after I had built that up like I did. So that is going to be costly. Okay, we'll continue on with the lordlings. This time they've got the maneuver action, and they have already prepared, so they're going to be using one of their nobles for a maneuver action. And they will reclaim their preparation disc. Okay, we're going to be making a random die roll to determine the province that they are going to maneuver into. So we'll continue to roll till we get a province adjacent to the lordlings that has a barbarian token. Okay, the first roll is a 10. That's Moravia. That one will not qualify. Okay. 20. That's the Papal States. That one will qualify. Okay, so they are going to place 1 infantry from the supply into the Papal States and removing the barbarian token. All right. And now we'll switch back to our turn. We have 2 nobles left to place. And looking at the board position, I think we're going to have to do some recruiting. We've got a sizable force in Moravia. We're cut off from our capital, though. So, if that is the case, I think we will recruit. So we're going to take the recruit action. That's going to give us a kick out, which is always nice. And we'll be able to either regroup or do another recruit. And I think we're going to be taking the extra recruit action. So we're going to place that disc into the used nobles pile. And I'm going to begin by recruiting a heavy crossbowman. That's going to cost us a iron and I need leather. I thought that was wood. Well, if that is the case, then we are going to have to use gold. And that will allow us to do the heavy crossbowman creation. So we're going to be placing a heavy crossbowman on the map in our capital, and I should have replaced this farm that was destroyed, and that's going to move our supplies down to 4, so that'll put us at maximum right now. So I'll place that crossbowman at Carinthia. We won't be able to take advantage of that extra recruit action. I don't have enough supplies and gold, so that is where we're at. Well, it's too late now, but I had this defending our borders card that I forgot about. That would have helped us in our battle in Austria. It says, after an enemy army enters your province with at least 1 farm, you receive an extra transient infantry. So we would have had an infantry and our crossbowmen to help defend Austria. I don't know if it would have made a difference, but I think it might have. Now the lordlings will go. And they've got a rush card, so they're going to be taking their pass opportunity. Okay, we'll begin the pass by removing the leftmost card. So we're going to lose levied cavalry. The other ones will come down, and we'll see what we've got up against us now. This one is a relic, holy nails. Next consideration is the lordlings available to claim a title, and no, not in this case. They're going to recoup all of their noble discs, and they're going to receive 2 culture points, and they're already at 3 victory points already. And finally, they're going to gain some victory points. They have a total of 6 provinces under their control at the moment, which is going to award them 5 more victory points. And that's going to move them up to 50. So the current score is 50 to 37. Well, we have 1 noble remaining, and we have 1 wood, and that's it. These supplies were consumed already when we built the crossbowmen. And I think we're going to use that last noble for a development of culture action. It's going to give us a kick-out action. So we'll place that on development of culture, and it will give us a kick-out. And that will allow us to take a card from the culture offer, and we're able to take any of these 3 cards. I'm kind of leaning towards taking the armored infantry upgrade. That would get our infantry up to level 3, but it's going to require quite a bit of steel to produce those. So the League's card would give us 2 victory points whenever we build a city. I guess that could be a possibility in Moravia. Or Monopoly Iron. Immediately after you pass, receive 1 iron. So that's a tough one. I think we'll take the Monopoly Iron card, and I'll add that to my hand. We'll slide these things down and see what comes up next. I just love this game. The choices that we have available to us are just great. Okay, this is archery training. First level says each 6 you roll on a volley phase deals 2 damage. Wow, that combined with my heavy crossbowman could be very deadly. All right. And we're ready to resume with the lordlings. And they've drawn settle. Okay, we'll see if they can perform a settle action. And they can. And that can be placed in the Papal States. I think that is the only eligible spot that does not already have a farm. Yes. So they are going to be placing a farm in the Papal States. Going to move their supply level up to 8, and they've already earned 10 victory points from their farms. So they're going to place a farm in the Papal States. All right. Okay, we're up next, and we have no nobles left, so we're going to have to pass. We'll begin by eliminating the leftmost cards. We've lost our armored infantry card, which was not so good. These will come down, and our new card is military tactics. Level 1 says if at least 2 different types of your units survive a battle, subtract 1 from the opposing force's battle result to a minimum of 0. Okay. Next is for us to consider any titles. We are not entitled to any at this point. Then we take our noble discs back. And now we're going to check our warehouse situation. Okay, our current warehouse level allows us to sell a unit. I'm going to keep that wood that we have. So it's within our hold limits. That's not a problem. We're going to receive a gold. Then we're going to gain our resources. We've got a stone in Verona, an iron in Carinthia, and a stone in Moravia. That is the limits of our control. And the final step is to reset our title card for use in the coming turn. And we'll move on now to the lordlings. Okay, the lordlings are up next, and they're going to be choosing a build action. Okay, we'll be rolling a d20 and seeing what they're going to build. Here's the roll. Result is a 14, and they're going to build a farm closest to you where they have a farm already. Okay. So with the proximity of Verona, they're going to be building a farm in Tuscany. Okay, and they'll be using up a build action for that. So we'll place their noble on the build action. Okay. Okay, we're up next. We have a total of 6 nobles we can use. Let's take a look at what cards we've got in our hand right now. We've got a raid, reinforce. This one will allow us to counterattack a raiding party. And I don't know if we're strong enough for that. Be enough to take out these Magyar raiders, reduce them in size a little bit. Reinforce gives us a +1. Sandals of Jesus, that would be a relic in case we build a church. And we can upgrade our knights. That would be another option. Or we've got this Monopoly card for iron. That might be the better bet. If we pass, we're going to receive an iron. I have to think about that. We'll see what some of our other options are. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call a build action. And we're going to use our title card to double up on that. So we're going to take two build actions. The first one will be to construct a city in Moravia. That'll cost us a stone and a wood. Then we can use the second action to upgrade a keep to level 1 in our capital at a cost of 1 stone. So I think we'll do that. Total expenditures will be 2 stone and a wood. All right, we'll place a noble on the build action. Fortunately, that will potentially give the lordlings a kick out, but I think this will be a good thing to do. So we're going to build a city in Moravia. We'll incorporate in that stoneworks. All right, and then another part of that, second part of the build, is going to be to put a keep, level 1 keep, in Corinthia. All right. Now, if we do launch an attack, incidentally, on Austria, we're going to have to fight whatever this barbarian token is, but these forces are going to supplement the barbarians. We don't actually attack the raiders here, but those raiders will add to whatever is on that token, so that's quite a large force. And now we go back to the lordlings, and they've got development of culture. Okay, they are going to do that. They're going to take their right most accessible culture card. So they're playing development of culture. Their right most accessible card is Holy Nails. That is going to award them 5 victory points for getting a relic. These will get moved down. And the next card is Armored Infantry to level 3 or Knights to level 2. It's a military upgrade. Okay. And that relic card is going to give them 5 victory points, so they are currently at 55. It's 55 to 37. And it's back to us. We have 1 iron remaining. Not much we can do with that at this point. I do have a gold. So we would technically be able to build another heavy crossbowman if we chose to take the route of recruit. And I think I'm going to take the recruit action, so we're going to spend a gold and an iron, and we're going to produce a heavy crossbowman in either Moravia or our capital. So we'll take the recruit action, and now we got to decide where to build that crossbowman. Well, I don't have a farm yet in Moravia, so I'm guessing we'll probably end up building a crossbowman there, and then I would be able to leave 1 behind to control the province, and we could use those 3 maybe to move into Bohemia or something. What I'm lacking now is leather production. I don't have any leather producing facilities at this point. So I'll place that archer in Moravia. And we're back to the lordlings. And they're going to take a research action. They have already prepared the research action, so we'll return their disc. And they're going to place a noble on research. So we'll roll a die and see what they're going to research. Result is a 4, and that's going to be +3 to their culture. Oh boy. So their culture level goes up 3. 1, 2, 3. And I have a hunch I wasn't... After you get into the second stage, the disc moves in that order, an up and down fashion like that. I think I was just moving it along the bottom, so I might have ended up costing myself more than I did. I believe that's probably true. But anyway, so that's where that disc is right now. But yeah, just remember, don't do it the way I did. They move in this fashion. It doubles itself after you get into those upper stages. So. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. So I think what I'm going to try is a maneuver action. We have a advantage in our archers. So I think what I might do is temporarily abandon Moravia and move my 4 archers into Austria. We'd have to fight this barbarian token supported by the raiders, but we've got like a 50-50 chance of hitting during the volley phase, so we could take out 2 units right away, which might be pretty good. Their units, we don't know what the barbarians are going to be. I guess these are, I'm going to have to check the rules, but I believe these are supporting units, but they're considered barbarian units, so they'll have the level 1 levels for infantry, archers, and cavalry. I'm going to double check that before I commence this. And yes, that is true. These units will be, if we attack them, they will be considered barbarian units, so they would all be level 1 units. So it's a risk, but I think we're going to try it. So we are going to undertake a maneuver action. I'll place my noble on maneuver, and I'm going to move in all 4 of these crossbowmen. We'll find out what we're up against. It's going to be another cavalry and an infantry. All right, so we'll get a cavalry and an infantry out for barbarians. That's going to be the total force. 3 cavalry and 1 archer and 2 barbarian infantry. All right, let's see if we can do this. If we can get some good rolls on our volley here, that will certainly help. And we're going to begin with the volley phase. I have a total of 4 heavy crossbowmen. They're going to be hitting on a 3+. Here's the volley phase. And I've got a total of 2 hits. So we can take 2 casualties out of there. And let's see here. Their cavalry have 2 hit points. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to take 2 infantry as casualties. They haven't fired yet, and they won't be able to in this turn. They have a crossbowman as well, and they are going to fire hitting on a 4+ during the volley phase. They've missed, so we're going to move on now to the charge phase. They're going to be charging with 3 cavalry. Get 3 red dice out, and their cavalry will be hitting on a 5+. Here's their charge. They have no hits. That is great. Now we'll move on to the melee phase. In the melee phase, I have 4 archers that are going to be hitting on a 4+. So let's do that. And I have 2 hits. That is great. So I'm going to apply the 2 hits to the cavalry. That'll take out a cavalry unit. All right. Now they are going to fire in their melee phase. So now this battle is taking place in a region adjacent to a city that I own with a tower, with a keep. So that would allow me a +1 die roll modifier during melee. So I will do that, and I'm going to adjust this 3 into a 4. That'll give us another hit, and I'm going to take out the archer. Now he still gets to fire, and so does the cavalry that we took out. So we'll let them launch their attack in melee. They're going to be getting 3 red dice, which is going to hit on a 6+ during melee, and they will get 1 archer, which is going to hit on a 6+ as well. So all of these are going to be looking for 6s. Whoops, it's stuck in there. There we go. They have no hits. That is great. So with that being the case, we'll calculate our battle strength. Before we do that, I have an oversight. The Barbarians should have received an extra cavalry unit because this is the 4th time I've fought barbarians. So they're going to get an extra roll during their charge phase. This would be a 5+. They have a hit, so we're going to lose one of our archers. Then they would get an extra roll with the cavalry during the melee. This will be a 6+. And they missed. So now we'll remove the casualties and we will calculate the battle strength. My units are level 2, 2, 4, 6. He has level 1s, so we've won the match. These units are removed. We're going to receive another 4 victory points for defeating the barbarians. So that'll move our victory points up to 1, 2, 3, 4 to 41. So it's 55 to 41 currently, and we're in control of Austria once again. I don't know if we're going to be placing a farm there, though. I doubt it. Farm there would only cost us 2, though. It's adjacent to the capital, so we'd be able to use, and it's in the same region, so it only cost us 2. I think I will do it. We will remove an archer and place a farm in Austria. That's our free action, the settle action. All right, so we were able to reconquer Austria. That was great. Unfortunately, we no longer control Moravia. That is uncontrolled. It's a city with a stone production facility, but no one owns it at this point. So I'm going to have to try to move forces in there to acquire that once again. Lordlings are up next, and they've got a recruit action. Okay, they're going to place the rarest unit, the province closest to us. We'll roll for their possible upgrade, 16 to 20. The roll is a 2, so they have no upgrade. We're going to place one of their nobles on the recruit action. Their closest province to us is Tuscany in relation to Verona. So they will be placing a unit in Tuscany, and we'll have to figure out which is the rarest of them. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 infantry, 1, 2, 3, 4 archers, and they've got 3 cavalry. So it's going to be a cavalry unit that is going to be placed in Tuscany. That is a very large force there. And it's my turn next. I'm going to be taking another maneuver action, and we're going to reacquire Moravia. So I'm going to maneuver one of our archers into Moravia, taking control of that. Lordlings are going to rush, and that's what's going to happen. There's 2 or fewer nobles left in their supply, so they are going to be taking their pass action. So we'll begin by taking the leftmost card off the display and seeing what else transpires. We've got a Travels of Benjamin card. Okay. They're not entitled to any titles at this point, so they're going to reclaim their discs. They'll be gaining 2 culture points. And they'll gain victory points equal to the controlled cities. They have a total, or controlled provinces. They have a total of 6 provinces under their control, netting them 5 more victory points. That moves them up to 60. So it is 41 to 60 at present. And I think for my next turn, I'm going to be taking a research action, and I'm going to get that archery training. I think that is going to help us a ton. I should say development of culture action. That's what we're going to take. Development of culture, take a card from the display. We can take any of these 3. I'm going to take archery training on first level. Each 6 that we roll in the volley phase deals 2 damage, so that might be pretty good for us. We'll slide these down, see what else transpires here. It is a relic, the arm of Saint Seratius. So we're going to add that archery training card to our hand. So I've got a total of 6 cards in hand. We have room for 4 more, and now the Lordlings. Lordling's next action is Persevere. That one can't be played. It'll have to be shuffled back in. They're going to do a recruit action. Okay. We'll shuffle back the Persevere card into the deck, and then they are going to build a unit and possibly upgrade a unit type. Okay. We'll see if they do an upgrade. A 10, they do not. All right, they have 4 of each type of unit. The unit is going to be in the province closest to us, so that is going to be the proximity to Verona. They'll be placing, in this case, an infantry unit if they have one. They have one left in the supply, and that's going to go into Tuscany. What a large force there. Okay. We placed one of their nobles on the recruit action, and there's 2 discs there. We're going to get a kick out if anybody places another one there. And we're up next. This is my last noble. I'm going to do a research action, and that will allow us to play a card from our hand. And I'm going to play this first level card, Monopoly Iron. And that says immediately after we pass, we receive 1 iron. Back to the lordlings. And they've got development of culture. Okay, so they are going to place a disc on development of culture. They'll take a card from the offer, and they're going to be gaining the Travels of Benjamin. That is their second Travels of Benjamin, so they'll be receiving 2 victory points for that, moving them up to 62. We'll refill our culture offer, and we've got a conglement card, the Wise. Receive a victory point for each level of all your common technologies. All right. We're up next, and we're going to pass. We have no nobles left. Levied archers is gone. These are going to slide down. And the next card on the offer is infantry level 2 or heavy knights level 3. We can't take any title cards, so we're going to return our noble discs. Now we've just played this Monopoly Iron. It says immediately after you pass, you receive 1 iron, so we will gain that as a part of our pass. Now we have to consult our warehouse. We have a sale, 1 sale available, and a store of 2. These items should have been put in the discard already. We could exchange this iron for 3 movements on the culture track, but I think we'll keep it. Next, we're going to receive a gold, and then we get to draw our resources. We're going to be getting a stone in Verona, an iron in Carinthia, a leather in Austria, and another stone in Moravia. So 2 stone, iron, and leather. And then finally we can retip our card, title card, and that'll bring our turn to a close. Lordlings are up next, and they're taking the rush action. We can't do that. There's 4 discs available, so otherwise draw another instead and shuffle it back in the deck. And this one's the maneuver action. They're going to place a prep token on maneuver. That'll be the extent of their turn. We'll shuffle that rush card back in. We are up next, and I'm going to take a research action. We're going to place one of our nobles on research, and we're going to research this archery training. Each 6 that you roll in the volley phase deals 2 damage. So we will place that here, and that is at level 1. It has a 1 victory point for that. But we don't receive that victory point when we play the card. It's only at the end of the scoring. Okay, we're back to the lordlings. They have the Persevere, so they're going to be taking the maneuver action again. They've already prepared for the maneuver, so they are going to use a noble, returning the preparation disc, and they are going to maneuver. They're going to select an adjacent uncontrolled province and place an infantry and remove the barbarian token. If they're unable to do so, they will draw another instead. I don't believe they have any more infantry left in their supply. They do not. No, they do. They have 1 left. They have one left. So they will be able to take that action. And they have several places that they can move into. Lombardy, Romagna, Bavaria, Nordgau, Marcogeronis, and March. Okay, we'll just make a random roll then, and we'll just keep rolling till we get a result that is deemable. An 18. Okay, 18 is Tuscany. 20, that is the Papal States. They already have that. 10. 10 is Moravia. No. 18, Tuscany. 16, Verona. Not that one. 11, Swabia. 11. 19. That's going to be Romagna. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to take that, and they've got control of Romagna. Okay, I'm up next. I'm going to declare a build action, and I'm going to build a church in Corinthia. We're going to be using this relic card, Sandals of Jesus Christ. You may build this church for free. So that's what we're going to do. So we get a free church in our capital. That won't require us to spend any resources other than a noble in the build action. And then I think we are going to use our title card and do another build action. So we'll tip that card and we'll see what we're going to build. And I think we are going to spend one stone, and we're going to upgrade our warehouse to the next level. It's going to get us 2 victory points, 2 sell and 2 hold. And once again, the victory points that are listed on there, we don't get those immediately. That'll be at the end of the game scoring. And we move back to the Lordlings. We have a build action. Okay, we'll give them a die roll and see what they build. They've rolled a 6, and they're going to build a city, gaining 2 culture. Can they do that? Yes, they can. They'll be building a city in the Papal States. Okay, that is going to incorporate in their stone production. And there are only 2 cities remaining in the supply now. In addition, it will move up their culture too. All right, so they're up to 9 victory points for that. So now we'll score some victory points for our church. We're going to get 5 for building the church. We'll get 1 if there is no church in the kingdom that we built it in, which is true, so that's 6. And then 1 for each adjacent province of another kingdom that does not have a church. So Verona, there is a church already built there. We won't qualify for that. In Swabia, there are no churches there, so we'll gain another point for that. So it'll be 5, 6, 7 victory points. That will move us up to 48. So it's 48 to 62. Well, once again, I'm struggling with my wood production. So I think the best way we can handle that is we're going to have to take Carniola that has wood production there. So I'm going to have to start building forces up in Corinthia. So I think we are going to take a recruit action. We'll place a disc on the recruit action, and I think we will continue to build our heavy crossbowmen. I can't afford the light cavalry. That has 2 hit points. So I think we will continue to go with the heavy cavalry, our heavy crossbowmen. We're going to spend an iron and a leather, and that will get us 1 heavy crossbowman. We're going to place that in Corinthia. So we'll place that in Corinthia, and I think our next target will be Carniola. I wish I would have done that earlier. We also could move into Bavaria. This is going to get us 2 culture points and a leather. Bavaria, we don't know what we're going to get there, but we'll be facing barbarian infantry and archer. So we'll have to decide. Lordlings are up next. And this is the Persevere card, so they're going to build again, and that is going to be another die roll. So we'll see what that will be. So they've used their Persevere card. And what are they building now? I hope it's not a city. It's a 1, and it is a city. And can they build one? Yes, they can. They have Romagna. So the only eligible location that they possess is Romagna. So they're going to take control, building a city there, adding in the lumber facilities. We're down to 1 city remaining, and when that city gets built, that will undertake the end of game situation. So as we are currently losing in victory points, we're not going to want to be able to build any more cities, that's for sure. And I think the best bet I can do is to do a recruit action. It's going to give them a kick out, but I need to build up some forces in order to move into Carniola. So we're going to be doing a recruit action. We'll place our disc on recruit. They're going to get a kick out. And let's see what we want to build. And I think we're going to build another heavy crossbowman. I'll pay a iron and a gold, pay for the leather, and we'll build a heavy crossbowman in Carinthia. So now we have 3 crossbowmen in Carinthia, and the Lordlings will take their kick out. Their choices are recruit or regroup. And I think they're going to take the regroup action. That's going to allow them to place preparation tokens on research and maneuver. So they'll place prep tokens on research and maneuver. And then that disc will be put to the used nobles. Lordlings have 2 discs left, and their next action is rush. So they're going to be doing their pass action. First step is to remove the left-hand card. Now this is a reinforced card that's dropped off the back of the display. So it says that they are going to get an upgrade for a raider. So we will take care of that. We'll move these down first. And I would suspect we're going to be getting a raider card soon. Not yet. Masonry. So they're going to be getting a raider upgrade. We'll roll for a random unit type. They rolled a 13, and that's cavalry. So their cavalry moves up to level 2. They're not at present entitled to any titles. Yes, they are. They have 50% of the Kingdom of Italy. I just spotted that. Let's take a look at that. And no, that is incorrect. Romagna is a separate kingdom. In Italy, we just have Tuscany. Papal States is an independent kingdom. So they're not eligible for that. So they are just going to reclaim their nobles. So we've shuffled up the Lordling cards, and now they're going to gain 2 improvements on the cultural display, moving them up to 11 victory points. Their rightmost card now is the 5th slot, and now they're going to gain victory points. We'll count up their provinces. They have a total of 7 provinces, and that's going to give them an additional 5 victory points, I believe. Yes. So an extra 5 victory points will move them up to 67. They're winning 67 to 48. All right, we're up next. I'm going to take a maneuver action, and we'll place a noble on the maneuver action. And we are going to attack Carniola with 3 heavy crossbowmen. Let's see what we're going to be fighting against. And it's going to be 2 infantry and an archer. So we'll place 2 infantry and an archer there. And now we will get set up for the volley phase. Okay, we are up first with the volley phase. We're going to be getting 3 blue dice. And now with our special archery training, 6s are going to count as 2 damage. So we're going to be hitting on a 3+ now. Here's the roll. Well, we have 2 hits. So we've done 2 damage. And I'm going to take out 2 of their infantry. They are going to fire now, hitting on a 4+. They're unsuccessful. We'll move now to the melee phase. I'll be rolling 3 dice, and we're going to be hitting on 4+. We have 1 hit, and that takes out the archer. It will still get to fire, and they're going to be getting a 6+ on melee. And we've won the battle. So we've taken control of Carniola. It is an adjacent province in the same kingdom. We're going to get rid of a 2-point crossbowman, and that will allow us to place a farm there, and we will do so. And then we gain the benefit of 2 culture points and a leather, plus 4 victory points for defeating another barbarian. That moves our victory points up to 52. It's 52 to 67. And we'll get our culture points now. Culture points will move up 2. Nothing else, that successful conquest of Carniola is going to give us access now to wood, which we have not had access to. So that is a good thing. So we'll return to the lordlings. And they are going to do a maneuver action. They have prepared for it, so they will maneuver. We'll return their prep disc, and they're going to choose a random adjacent uncontrolled province. But they can't do that. They don't have any infantry left in their supply. So in this case, it says, if unable, draw another card instead. So they will draw another card instead. That's a persevere. They cannot do the maneuver action, so we will, let's see, how do you handle that? They can't persevere that card. If the first card, draw another and reshuffle this card instead. I'm going to take a look at that. Well, I guess it would be handled, but the maneuver card couldn't be played, so we'll have to shuffle that back in as though there's no cards there. They're going to be doing a recruit action, so we'll move that disc over to the recruit action, giving us a kick out, and they are going to recruit a unit. We'll have them roll for an improvement 16 to 20. They rolled a 2, so they have no upgrade. So they're going to be doing that improvement, or I should say that recruiting, once again in Tuscany with the proximity to Verona. So they're going to gain another archer this time. What a force they have there. Now we're getting a kick-out action. The recruit action I can't take. I don't have any resources. So we'll take a regroup action. That's going to allow us to move. It's similar to maneuver, except we have to move over controlled provinces. We cannot end in a province where there would be a battle. So I think I will return the 2 archers that we have in Carniola back to our capital in Carinthia. We do have a farm here to control Carniola. Well, we have 1 noble token left, and I'm going to declare a maneuver action. Place our noble on the maneuver action, and I'm going to maneuver this force that I have in Austria and move that into Bohemia. That'll give us temporary control of that wood production facility that's there. We had previously fought a battle there against the barbarians, and we'll take control of it temporarily. We'll return to the lordlings, and they've got a research action, so they're going to use they've already got a disc on research, okay, so they will reclaim their preparation disc and place a disc on research. We'll make a roll to see what they are researching. And they've got a 17. That's 2 victory points plus 1 victory point for each common tech. That'll earn them 4 more victory points, moving them up to 71. And we're going to have to pass. So the military tactics card is lost. These cards will slide down. And the next card is Cultural Conquest. Okay. Now we would be eligible for a title card for the Kingdom of Bohemia, but we only control 2 of the 3 provinces, so I'd have to have an unused noble for Silesia, so we can't take it yet. So we'll reclaim our noble discs and we'll check our warehouse situation. All right, checking our warehouse, we have 2 sell and 2 hold. We have a stone available, and at this stage of the game, I don't know how important that would be for our cultural development track, so I think I'll just hang on to the stone. We're going to receive a gold, and then we can get our resources from the controlled provinces. Let's take a look at that. So we have control of Verona. That gets us a stone. We have control of Carniola with the farm, gets us a wood. Control of Carinthia gets us an iron. Control of Austria gives us leather. And we also have control of Bohemia and Moravia, giving us stone and wood. So we'll collect all those resources and put those in our totals. And so our final totals are 1 iron, 3 stone, 1 leather, 2 wood, and we will retip our title card, and that is the end of our pass. Lordlings are up next, and they get persevere, so they're going to do the research action, placing another prep token on research. All right, we're up next, and I think we need to get some more forces on the board, so I'm going to do a recruit action. We'll order a noble to recruit, and I think we're going to begin with a heavy crossbowman. It's going to be a iron and a leather. And then I think we're going to use our action to repeat that action twice. So we'll tip that. We can do another build action. And I think we will do an infantry. I'll have to spend a gold to do it, and that would get us the leather. So we'll build an infantry and heavy crossbowman. And I'm going to build those in Moravia. I'd like to move into Silesia and just take that province, and we can get the Kingdom of Bohemia card, which is worth 7 victory points. And the Lordlings are up next. And they're going to do persevere, so that is going to redo the research action. They've already prepped that, so we'll place another token on research, and we'll find out what are they researching. Okay, we'll make a roll. They've rolled a 19, and that's more victory points. They're going to gain 4 more victory points, moving them up to 75. Wow. I'm going to declare a maneuver action, and we are going to maneuver our 2 archers and 1 infantry into Silesia. So we'll see what that's. The benefit is to gain a gold and a stone, but we have to fight against 2 infantry and an archer. All right. In addition, they're going to get a cavalry as well, because we have defeated at least 4 barbarian units in the past. So that is the force. And we're going to begin with a volley phase. All right. So the volley phase, we have 2 archers. And we're going to be hitting on a 3+. 6s will be considered 2 hits because of our archery training. We have 1 hit, so I'm going to apply that to an infantry of theirs. We'll take that as a casualty. They have 1 archer, which will hit us on a 4+. And they are successful. So they will take out our infantry. Now it's the cavalry phase, and they're going to be charging with 1 cavalry, hitting on a 5+. Okay. And they missed. So now we'll move to the melee phase. We're going to be firing with 2 bowmen, which will hit on 4+ in the melee phase. We have no hits. Okay, this could be a problem. They're going to be getting an infantry, an archer, and a cavalry die. They're going to be hitting on 5+ for the green, and they will be hitting on a 6+ for archers and cavalry. Okay. And the green did not hit. None of those hit. So we'll calculate our battle strength. We have a total of 4, because those are worth level 2. These are 1 each, so we've won 4-3. We've defeated them, which is great. Let's get our rewards. We're going to be gaining a gold and a stone. That is great. Gold and a stone. Okay, that's our 4th stone. And then we're going to gain 4 victory points for defeating the barbarians. So we'll move that up to 56. And we've taken control of that iron production in Silesia. This would cost 5 points to settle the area, so we won't be doing that. We'll move back to the lordlings. And they're going to do a settle action. Does not place a noble. And are they able to do that? I'll have to examine the board. No, they cannot. So in this case, we draw another card. And it's a build action. Okay, they are going to build. We'll place one of their nobles on the build. And if it comes up to be a city, we're going to be in our end game scoring pretty soon. So we will roll a d20. They rolled a 9, and that's build 1 level of keep in the most adjacent controlled province. Okay. Okay, that is going to occur either in Thuringia, which is 1 space away from Bohemia, or in Tuscany, which is 1 space away from Verona. So it'll be an odd-even roll, odd being Thuringia. And it is odd, so they're going to be gaining another level on their keep. Well, technically, that could have also occurred in Romagna. That's also within 1. So I'm going to re-roll that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A 1, so it will be in Thuringia. All right. Well, I'm going to declare a build action, and we're going to build a keep in our capital. This is going to be the 2nd level. So it's going to cost us a wood and a stone. So we will do that, and we're going to place a keep, 2nd keep, in Carinthia. I'm doing this not only for the defensive benefits, but it will help us in endgame scoring. And now it is the lordlings again. And they are rushing, so they're going to pass. So the pass action will occur. Lose the left card, sliding these down, and see what happens now. And it is a Travels of Benjamin card. All right. Lordlings are not eligible for a title, so they're going to reclaim all of their discs. They will also earn 2 points on the culture track, moving them up to 13 victory points. And then they are going to gain victory points for the provinces controlled. They currently control 7 provinces, so they're going to be earning 5 victory points, moving them up to 80. It's 80 to 56. I think for our next action, I'm going to use a noble for maneuver. And I'm going to maneuver one of our archers back into Moravia, taking control back of that. Lordlings are up next. And they are going to settle. I don't think they can do that. No, they have no areas in their control that don't have farms yet. So, draw another card. And this one is Persevere. That'll have to be shuffled back in. Research. Okay, they're going to place a prep token on research. We'll shuffle that Persevere in. I think for our next action, I'm going to do a recruit action. That's the 2nd disc in the recruit area. And I think we are going to recruit an infantry. I'll have to pay for that with gold, unfortunately, but we're going to place that infantry in Moravia. So we'll place that infantry into Moravia. And now we could settle. The cost for this is going to be 5, though. Yeah, because we're not adjacent to the capital, and it's in a different kingdom. So that's going to cost us 5. Can't do it. I've only got 4 there, 2 level 2 units. Okay. And the lordlings are up next. And they're going to persevere doing the research action again. So they'll return their prep token, placing a noble on research. And we'll get the research card back out and we'll roll to see what they get. Okay. Result is a 1, and that is +3 to culture. Okay. Well, they're at the final end of the track now. They got 17 victory points. They've taken away that gold coin that we could have gotten. And they're within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of reaching the end of the culture track. We have 1 noble left, and I'm going to take a pass option. That's going to allow us then to gain the title card, Kingdom of Bohemia. So we'll begin by refreshing our board. And I would imagine there's going to be a raider card coming. Not yet. Blood of Saint Januarius. Well, we have control of all 3 provinces in Kingdom of Bohemia, so we're going to gain this title card, issuing us 7 victory points immediately. That's going to move us up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 63. The score is 80 to 63. Got another title card. We'll reclaim our noble discs. And then we will check our warehouse track. Okay, our warehouse track allows us to sell 2 items if we choose. I guess we're going to sell one of our stone. That'll give us 2 points of improvement on our culture track. It's not enough to earn any victory points yet, but we're getting closer. And now that means we can store 2 units, and we will do so. I should have received an iron. I forgot about that with my monopoly of iron. Immediately after you pass, receive 1 iron. The only thing is, I don't know when that occurs. Immediately after. So after you pass, it's not included then in the totals? I'm not sure. I'll have to find out about that. We're going to gain a gold, and then we will collect our commodities. Well, we've gained quite a bit of commodities. We've got 2 stone, 2 wood, 2 iron, and a leather. So we'll add those to our totals. That's a pretty good haul. And then all that remains is we can retip our title cards. I'll have to check into that monopoly iron immediately after you pass, receive an iron. So it looks like it's after the pass condition. So in that case, it looks like we get another iron if you go literally by what it says. So we'll give ourselves another iron. Now it's the lordlings. And they are going to persevere. They're going to do another research action, so they'll put their prep token back on research. All right, we are up next. I'm going to do a recruit action. We'll place one of our nobles on recruit, and I believe we're going to use one of our title cards to double that up. So we'll tip that title card, and that allows us 2 builds. I'm going to build our crossbowman, and I think we're going to build an infantry. I'll have to spend a gold for that. And we're going to place those both in Moravia. So we'll place an infantry and archer in Moravia. And now I think we're going to do the settle option. We have to have 5 points to settle, unfortunately, and we've only got level 2 units there. So we'll have to get rid of 3 of them. I'll get rid of an infantry, and an archer, and we'll place a farm, our 7 supply now, in Moravia. And that's us 5 victory points at the end of the game. Lordlings are up next. And they're going to do a maneuver action, placing a prep token on maneuver. Okay, we are up next. I'm going to take a build action, and I'm going to build a keep in Moravia. So that will cost us 1 stone. We'll pay the stone and place the keep accordingly. Place a first level keep in Moravia. All right. Trying to build up these keeps, that gives us the best chance of victory points at the end game scoring. I don't think we're going to be able to make up this deficit, but you never know. So I'll try my best. Lordlings are up next. And they're going to do a development of culture action. They're going to take the rightmost card available to them, which is going to be the Blood of Saint Januarius. That is going to earn them 5 victory points, moving them up to 85. It's getting worse. We're up next. I'm going to take another build action, and I'm going to build the second level of keep in Moravia. It's going to cost us a wood and a stone. We'll pay the wood and the stone and move that up another level. That's about all I can think of to do at this point. So Moravia gets its second level keep. Lordlings are up next. They've got a recruit action. Okay, so they will place that on the recruit action. We'll see what they're going to recruit and see if they get an upgrade. We'll make that roll now. They have an 18. They will get an upgrade. So they're going to upgrade the recruited type. Well, the recruited type is going to be an archer, and that is going to go into the province nearest one of ours. So it's either going to be in Thuringia or Tuscany or Romagna. Those are the 3. So we'll do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roll. It's a 1, so it's going into Thuringia. We'll place it there. Now they're going to upgrade their archers. So the Lordling archers are moved up to level 2. Right now they have 2 common technologies, and they've improved their military 1, 2, 3 at this point. So they've got a total of 5 of the 9 that they would need for the end-game condition. All right, we're up next. I think we're going to take the building action. That's going to give us a kick-out action after we're done. And I think we are going to build a farm. It'll cost us 2 wood. And then we'll be able to place this farm in Corinthia. That's our second farm there. That improves our supply level up to 8. And we're going to be getting now 10 victory points for our farms. Now we get a kick-out action. Our kick-out action is to take a wood or stone or regroup. I don't think the regroup action will help us too much right now. Although I would be able to move an archer into Bohemia, but I think we will just leave it the way it is. I'm going to take, I think we'll move it in and take a wood. We'll gain a wood. Lordlings are up next, and they are going to build. So they'll place a token on build. It's going to give us a kick out for that. All right, and we'll see what they're going to build. Okay, they cannot build a city because they don't have any provinces that don't have cities on them already. So see what happens. They've rolled a 19. They're going to build a church to get the highest victory points. Okay. So we'll have to analyze where this church is going. So far they have built 1 church in Tuscany. So it looks like it would probably be in Thuringia, would be the most valuable to them. We'll place it there. They're going to get 5 in Thuringia. There are no other churches in Thuringia, so that's 6. Bohemia does not have a church. That's 7. Eastern Saxony does not have one. That's 8. So they'll get 5, 6, 7, 8 victory points. That's what it is. It's going to move them up to 93. Oh boy. 93 to 63. All right, we're up next. We have 2 nobles. I have 1 untapped kingdom card. And we can get kick-out actions for building or for recruit. So any of those would be useful to us. And I think I will take a building action. That'll get us a kick-out in that action. And I think we are going to build up our warehouse. So we'll spend another stone and increase that. That gets us some more victory points and a little bit larger hold capacity. Seems to make sense. And now we have a kick-out action. It'll either be the regroup action or take a wood or stone. And I think we're going to take the free wood. That'll exhaust that token. Oh, I forgot to update this list here. Oh, it's a raid card. Well, we'll have to resolve that right away. Okay, two things are going to happen. We're going to resolve the raid card. It's going to require a roll on a d20, and then we have to place our target token from our leader onto a target province. So here's the roll. 5. That is add a raider. Okay. So we're going to be adding a random raider. We'll be consulting our player aid. Result is a 20. It's going to be an archer. So an archer will appear on that raider's card. Now we have to figure out where the target is going to be. It says whenever a raider card is revealed and the target marker is on your ruler card, we're going to randomly select a province that we control, accept our capital, and place the target marker there. So that is what's going to happen. So let's see the random provinces we control. Silesia, Bohemia, Austria, and Carnolia. Can't be the capital. So I guess we will just do a 1d4 or 1d6 and we'll just accept the first 4 results. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5, a 2. 1, 2. So it'll be Bohemia. That will be the target province and we'll place the target marker there. Okay. Next up is the Lordlings. And they've got the rush card, so they're going to be passing. Let's see if they're entitled to any title cards. I don't believe so. No. All right. We'll begin by dropping the leftmost card. Everything is going to slide down now. And the new card is Fortifications. Okay. They're going to reclaim all of their noble tokens. They're going to gain 2 points on their culture track. That moves them up to 20 victory points. And then we'll calculate the provinces under their control. I believe it's at 7. It is at 7. They're going to gain 5 victory points for that. That's going to move them up to 98. 98 to 63. We're not doing very well. Well, we have 1 noble left, and I think I'm going to use it. We are going to take a development of culture action, and I'm also going to tip our Bohemia Kingdom card. So we'll be able to take that twice. And I think I'm going to start out by getting these heavy knights. That's going to slide this stuff down. And another card comes out. And that is Monasticism, Cistercians. Okay. And we can take 1 more card and any of these 3. Let's see. Well, I guess the Masonry card, receive a stone when you pass. That could help. We'll slide these down. That'll be my duplicate action. Another card is Heavy Infantry level 2 or Longbowman level 3. All right, let's see how many cards we've got in our hand. We have 5, so we're within our limits. Okay, Lordlings will take their action. This is a persevere, they can't do that. a build. Okay, that they can do. So we'll roll a d20 on their build action. Placing one of their tokens on build. And here's the roll. They rolled a 1, and that would normally build a city, but I don't believe they have any provinces in their control that are not a city. That is correct, so we'll have to continue rolling till we get a different result. A 9, and that's build 1 level of keep. Most adjacently controlled province. Okay. So that is going to be a level of keep in Thuringia or in Tuscany or Romagna. So it'll be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 3. They're going to be building it in Tuscany, so we'll give them a level 1 keep. All right. We're forced to pass, so we will discard the leftmost card. See what else is coming out here. That's Papal Universalism. Okay. We're not eligible for titles, so we'll take our tokens back. We'll move on to our warehouse. Now we can have 2 sales, and I think I'm going to sell both of my iron. That'll give us a total of 6 movements on the culture track. So we'll move up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that got us into this 4th level at least, which is good. We're going to keep 2 wood in our warehouse. We can store up to 3, so now we'll get our inventory of items. We've got a stone in Verona, steel or iron in Carinthia, wood in Carnolia, leather in Austria, a wood up in Bohemia, another stone up in Moravia, and another iron in Silesia. All right, we'll add those to our totals. And then we get a gold, and we can tip our cards back. All right, we're ready to go. Back to the lordlings. And they're going to do a settle action. I don't think they can do that. No, they can't. So if all of them do, draw another card. Okay. Persevere. And that would be persevere with another build action. So that's what they'll do. They'll take another build action. And we'll see what they're building. 13, and that is going to be a level of keep. All right, that's what they'll do. 1 level of keep. And that level of keep will be 1 Thuringia, 2, 3, 4 Tuscany, 5, 6 Romagna. It's a 5, so we'll be putting it in Romagna. All right. All right, we're up next, and let's see what we've got here. Well, we've got heavy knights. We could improve. No, it's level 3 though, so that one won't work. We'd have to improve to knights first. I don't know how useful that's going to be at this stage. I need massive amounts of victory points to have any chance. Well, I think we will undertake a development of culture action, and I'm going to take the raid card so that that doesn't drop off the bottom, because otherwise there's a big chance of an attack. So we'll take that. I'm going to use my Duchy of Carinthia card, tip that, we'll take the action again. So we'll slide these down, see what comes out. Travels of Benjamin. Okay, we can take 1 more card. We're limited to these 4. And I guess the fortifications card would be nice. Travels of Benjamin, we can get an instant victory point. Oh boy. I guess I'll take the Travels of Benjamin. And that's a reinforced card. Okay, we'll have to resolve that. I'm going to take a victory point for the Travels of Benjamin, moving us up to 64. And then we'll have to roll on the reinforce. They rolled a 1, and that is to add a raider. All right. So we'll roll on the player card and see what type they're going to add. 16. 16 or 18? That is an 18. Okay, so they're going to be adding a archer. So we'll give them an archer. And the lordlings are up next. They're taking a rush card. They can't play that, so that'll be shuffled back in. Research, and they can do that. They've already got a planning disc there. So they're going to take research, and we'll roll to see what they research. Result is a 10, and that's going to be upgrade a lordling unit. Okay. We'll roll on the random player aid table and see what they're going to upgrade. Result is a 14. That's going to be cavalry. So cavalry for the lordlings goes up to level 2 now. All right, we are up next. And let's see what we've got in our hand here that we can use. Well, I think we are going to take a research action. And I'm going to play this common technology called masonry. That says receive a stone when you pass. All right. And we could take that action again if we choose. I think we will. I'm going to tip my card for Bohemia, and we're going to pay 1 gold to upgrade defending our borders to level 2. Now it says when you are a defender in a battle, you add +1 to each of your dice rolls on the melee phase. So we will do that. That is going to cost us 1 gold to do that. And not to mention, it will award us some victory points in the end scoring. All right, their next card for the lordlings is maneuver. So they're going to be placing, nope, they have a token on maneuver. They will be maneuvering. So return our other token, place that on maneuver, and we'll see where they're going to maneuver to. And actually, they have no infantry left. We have to start killing some of these infantry. Might be for the best that we don't. So they can't take the maneuver action. So we'll have to get another card draw. It's going to be rush. That they can do. So they're going to go to their pass action. We'll begin with taking out the leftmost card and see what happens. This is Travels of Benjamin. Okay. They're not entitled to a title, so they're going to gain their tokens back. They're going to earn 2 points on the culture track and another 5 victory points, putting them to 103. So we're going to give the lordlings this +100 marker, and they'll move up 5 to 103. It's now 103 to 64. I think next up we are going to take a recruit action. Another heavy crossbowman, I would guess. So that's going to be a steel, or iron I should say, and a leather. And we'll build that heavy crossbowman. And I think we're going to place that into Corinthia. And we'll place that unit in Corinthia. Lordlings are up next. They've got the settle action. They can't take that. So, continue drawing. It's a build. Okay, so they're going to build. Well, you put that on the build action. They rolled a 5. They would normally build a city, but they have no place to build it. So, we will continue on with another roll. 18, build a church. Okay. So we'll look where they can earn the most victory points by building a church. They've already got one in Tuscany, And they have one up in Thuringia. Looks like it would be Romagna. So they're going to earn 5 for that. There's no other churches in that purple province, so that's 6. And there's an independent one here, so that's 7. They're going to earn 7 victory points, moving them up to 110. All right, we have 3 nobles remaining. I think I'm going to take a build action, and we're going to build a level 3 keep in Corinthia. It's going to cost us a stone and an iron. So we'll spend that, and that'll move us up to level 3 in Corinthia. So we will add a level 3 keep to Corinthia. Lordlings are up. Persevere, they're going to perform a build action again. So we'll put that up front. We'll place a token on build, and they're going to get a kick out action because of that. And we'll see what they build. A 4, that's a city. They don't have any room for that, so next. A 6. 6, and 11. They're going to build 1 level of keep. Okay. So the closest cities that could produce a keep would be Thuringia, Tuscany, and Romagna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's going to be Romagna again. They're up to a level 2 keep. All right. And they end up getting a kick-out action. They're going to take the regroup action, and that's going to allow them to place their preparation discs on maneuver and research for free. They can't take any wood or stone, so that's the only action they could do. So they've prepped maneuver and research. Incidentally, there's 1 city left in the supply, and there are 2 churches left in the supply. And the Lordlings are 1, 2, 3, 4 points away from reaching the end of the culture track. I think I'm going to be taking a build action that is going to give us a kick out action. And I think we are going to build a church. We've got 2 wood and 1 stone. And we can build, that's going to give us 5 victory points and an extra victory point for surrounding provinces. And I'm going to build that in Moravia. That's the only place we can build it. So that's going to give us 5 and 6 total, 6 victory points, moving us up to 70. So it's 70 to 110 right now. We're eligible for a kick-out action. I guess I'll take the wood. Lordlings are up next. And that is a rush. They can't do that, so that will be reinserted back into the deck. Maneuver, and that they can do. I think, nope, select a random adjacent uncontrolled province, place 1 infantry there, and remove the barbarian token. They have no infantry left in the supply. Yeah, the frequently asked questions are very clear on this. It says, if the solo player is directed to add a unit and it is completely out of those units, what happens? And for maneuver, it says if the Lordlings have no infantry left, it cannot maneuver. Discard the maneuver and draw another card, so that there are no infantry units left to maneuver. The bot will carry out other powerful actions such as upgrading, recruiting, building, taking cards, and gaining VPs. So what that's saying is if you want to let them maneuver, you have to kill some of their infantry, get those back in the supply. Otherwise, they're going to be taking these build actions and earning massive amounts of VPs. That's what it sounds like. So they are going to take another action. And it is research that they can do. They've got a preparation disc there. So we'll return that. And once again, they're going to be taking research action. So we'll roll for that. Result is a 15. That's 2 victory points plus 1 for each common tech. That's 4 more victory points, moving them up to 114. And it is our action next. I think I'm going to take a build action that'll give the lordlings a kick out, and we're going to spend 2 wood to build a farm, and I will build that in Moravia. They get a kick out, so they're going to choose regroup, and that will allow them to place a token on the research, the prep token. We're up next and we have to pass, so slide these cards down, see what comes out next. Surprise. Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna have to make a roll, and then the card will be discarded and immediately replaced. We'll make a roll on that surprise card. Result is a 5, and that says add and upgrade a raider. Okay. Surprise card is removed, and next card is cultural diffusion. Okay, so we'll roll for a random unit type. Result is a 17. That's going to be an archer, and they are going to also upgrade that type, so the raiders' archers will be moved to level 2. So we'll add an archer there. We're out of nobles, so we will pass. We'll cycle this display. Another reinforced card. Okay. We'll make a roll for the reinforce. Result is a 20, and that's upgrade a raider. So we'll get a random unit type, and that will be upgraded. A 7, that is infantry, so they're going to upgrade to the next level of infantry. Well, we have no titles we can garner, so we'll reclaim our tokens. Our warehouse indicates that we can sell up to 2 tokens. We've got 1. I guess I will sell the wood, and that would be worth 1 culture point. So we'll advance ourselves up the culture track by 1. We'll gain a gold, and then we will gain our resources. In addition to our standard resources, we are also going to get, we have monopoly of iron. We're going to immediately gain 1 iron, and we have masonry, so we'll gain a stone when we pass. So we'll add those to our totals. And then we'll retip our cards, getting them ready for use. All right. Lordlings are up next. They've got a development of culture. They're going to take the rightmost card available. In that case, it is going to be this reinforced card, and that means they're going to upgrade a raider. New card comes out, and that is armor smithing. So the raiders will get a random upgrade. We'll make a roll for the unit type. Result is a 1, and that's going to upgrade infantry, so they've moved their infantry up to level 3 now. Wow. And we better check for the end game conditions. Oh, that's right, the raiders don't count. It's our common technologies plus the number of lordling advances. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 is 6, so not enough. And I think for our next action, we're going to take a build action. And I am going to build a leather production facility in Corinthia. And it's going to cost us, it's a neighboring province, 2 wood and a stone. So we'll pay 2 wood and a stone, and we're going to add in a leather production facility in Corinthia. We're adjacent to Austria, so I will add in leather production into Corinthia. And I think we're going to end up tipping one of our title cards. We'll use the Kingdom of Bohemia card, and I'm going to do another build action. And I'm going to pay a stone and iron, and we'll upgrade our keep in Moravia. We'll add our 3rd keep there. It's as high as you can go. Lordlings are up next. And that's the rush card, and they will be taking the pass action. So we'll eliminate the leftmost card. And the new one is trade routes. They have no available titles. They will reclaim their discs. They're going to gain 2 points on the culture track, putting them within 2 of the end of the track and the end of the game. They'll also be scoring victory points for their provinces, and that will be another 5 victory points, moving them up to 119. We're up next, and I think we're going to take a research action. We'll place that on research, and I'm going to pay 1 gold, and we're going to upgrade our light cavalry to level 2 knights. And the lordlings are up. They have persevere, they can't play that, that'll be shuffled back in. Settle, they can't do. Development of culture, they can do. They're going to take the rightmost card, that's going to be trade routes. They'll add that to their total of common technologies. We're up next. I'm going to take a development of culture action, and I am going to take the Travels of Benjamin card. That's going to be the second one we've received, so we can either gain a gold or 2 victory points, and I'm going to take the gold in this case. So we'll gain a gold, and then we will refresh our board. And a raid card came out, so we will have to make a roll on the table. Here's the roll. It's a 20, and that says add raider, then attack. Okay. So we'll add a random raider. Result is a 7, and that's going to be an infantry. And then they are going to raid the target province of Bohemia. So we'll give them an infantry, and they're going to be raiding Bohemia. And so this is going to be a very lopsided battle, and we're going to start with our volley phase. So, be rolling for volley. All right, we have 1 archer in the volley phase. It's going to hit on a 3+. On a 6, it will be 2 wounds, 2 hits. Result is a 6, so we've got 2 hits, and I guess we'll take out 2 infantry. All right. They have a total of 4 archers that are going to be hitting on a 4+. Okay, I believe that's correct. No, they have advanced their archers, and they're going to be hitting on a, can't see it from here, a 3+. Okay, 3+ during the archery phase. And they've definitely gotten us there. All right, so we are going to have to take that as a casualty. They've obviously won the battle. So we have lost control of Bohemia. And all that will remain there is the production facility. Those raiders are going to remain in the province just as they did the last time. And the target token will go back onto our leader card. The raiders are going to remain. We'll remove these barbarians, and a random barbarian token will be placed there. And this time they've got archer and infantry, and then we're going to be placing 2 random barbarian tokens to form the Magyar Raiders replacements. And these are revealed to be 2 infantry and a archer, and 2 infantry and an archer. All right. All right, we're up next, and I think we are going to do a research action. And we're going to upgrade our knights to heavy knights. So we'll be putting that into the research action. And we have to pay a gold to move that heavy knights up. So 3 steel or 3 iron are going to produce a knight. Lordlings are up next. And they've got a research action. They have already prepared that. So we'll place one of their tokens on research. That's going to give us a kick out. And we'll see what they research. Result is an 18. And that's going to be 2 victory points plus 1 for each common tech. They have 3 techs. So that'll be 5 victory points, moving them up to 124. Okay, we're eligible for a kick-out action. We can either take wood or stone, or sell goods, or trade iron for gold. And I think that is what we are going to do. So we'll do that. We're going to sell a gold, an iron for 1 gold. And our action is up next. We have 2 nobles to place. And before we move along any further, I'm going to correct that improper position of the Lordling's culture track. Best I can tell from going over the footage, it looks like I moved it 3 spaces too far. So it should be 1, 2, 3, and that would be their actual position. All right, with the appearance of that raid card, we have to assign the raid location, which is currently on my leader card. So we're going to pick a random province that we control, and then that is where the raid will be centered. So it can be any province that is not the capital building. So Silesia is 1, Moravia is 2, Austria 3, Carniola 4, and Verona would be 5. So we'll just roll a d6 and find out. It's a 2, so that is going to be Moravia. So we'll place that raid disc there, and then we'll continue on. And I think where I made my big mistake strategically is I did not go after the Lordling cities. That's what I should have done. Instead of going after these barbarian locations, I should have targeted either Thuringia or Tuscany, and I had a chance early on, but this was my first playthrough, so I wasn't quite sure how to handle this, but I think that's why I'm getting this disparity in the victory points. I shouldn't have allowed them the opportunity. Thuringia probably would have been the big target because I could have maybe prevented them from gaining that kingdom card, and then we could have proceeded from there. So I think what I'm going to do is, rather than continue to play this, I'm going to fast forward and I will get to the end game scoring, and we'll see how that works out. I'm going to continue to play this off camera until I get to an end game condition. What will happen is, as soon as we reach an end game condition, both teams are going to pass, and then we're going to play one final round with all of our nobles, and then we will score the game. But at that time, there will be one last raid that will occur on top of this. So I'm going to try to prepare for that, and we'll just see what kind of a score we can get. So we'll be back in a moment, and I'll be at the final scoring at that point. All right, we've played through to the end of the game, and we are at the final scoring right now. I was able to defend that last raid against Moravia, and my forces survived. So we're going to go through the final scoring procedure. And I'm going to add up the Lordlings values first. We're going to be scoring according to the regular rules, but they have some special rules. They're going to gain 2 victory points for each common technology that they acquired. They ended up getting 3 of those, so that's going to give them 6 more. It'll move them up to 140. Next on the list is each level of keep they control. They score 1 victory point per neighboring province they control, even without a city. All right, so we'll go through that. So we'll start out with Tuscany. They have 2 levels of keep, and they would score a victory point for each level that they score per neighboring province that they control, even without a city. So 2 times 1, 2 is 4. So they'll get 4 more for that, up to 144. They have 2 levels of keep in Romagna, so they control, that would be 2, 3, 4, another 4 there, moves them up to 148. And they also have 2 levels of keep in Thuringia. So they'll score 2, 3, 4, and that's it there. So 4 more puts them up to 152. They're going to score the highest victory point level they have on the culture track. Well, that's 30. They max that out. So that's going to bring them up to 182. And they've lapped us there. Okay, then we are going to see the highest victory point level on their farms. And that currently is at 15. So they'll gain another 15, and that's going to move them up to 197. And then they score victory points shown on each title card that they control. All right, well, they control 2 title cards, one title card, and that'll be worth 10. So that's going to give them another 10, moving them up to 207. And we'll mark them with the plus 200 marker to account for that. So we'll give them the plus 200 marker. So their final score is 207. Now we get to score ours. We'll begin with the victory points for our technologies. We've got 6, 0, 1. So we've got a total of 7 there. I'll move us up 7 up to 80. Then we're going to score victory points for each city controlled with 1, 2, or 3 buildings, giving us 2, 4, or 7 victory points. Well, on the map, let's take a look at that. We control 3 cities. This has a total of 2 buildings. This one has a total of 2 buildings. There's a church in the back there. And that one has a single building in Silesia. So we'll be scoring 2, 4, and 4. So that's another 10. That'll move us up to 90. Then we're going to score victory points for each level of keep per neighboring province that we control. So we've got a level 3 keep here. We control 3 provinces. That's a total of 9. So that'll move us up to 99. This one here is a level 3. We control 2 adjacent, so that's 6 more. It puts us up to 105. I'm going to get my 100 plus marker out. So we'll place out our plus 100 victory point marker for us. And finally, in Silesia, I have a level 2 keep. I control 1 adjacent, so that's a total of 3 more. I'm sorry, that should be 2. It's 1 for each level of keep times the number of adjacent provinces. So that'll be 2 more. We're up to 107. Then we're going to score the highest victory points that we've got on our culture track. I managed to get up to 11, so we'll get 11 more. And that'll be 10, 11. We're up to 118. And then the highest victory point reached on the warehouse track. Well, that is at 7. So we'll gain 7 more for that. We're up to 125. And then our highest victory point not covered by a farm. So that is going to be 15. So that will put us up to 10, 15. We're up to 140. And the victory points shown on the title cards that we have. Well, we have a total of 2 7s, so that's 14 more. So that will move us up to 154. And finally, 1 for each gold that we have in our possession. I have none. So the final tally is 207 for the lordlings and 154 for us. And I have to say I had a blast with this game, folks. It was really a lot of fun. Took a little longer than what I would have thought, but I don't think I was playing a good strategy. I should have gone after the lordling cities to try to diminish. They were getting so many victory points by the number of provinces that they controlled. That was my big mistake, and that's where they were able to garner a lot of points. So I think in the next time I play this, I'm going to use a more aggressive strategy in going after those lordling-controlled cities and provinces, and we'll try to diminish their scores. But for the sake of a game about the Dark Ages, I don't think you're going to find anything better on the market than this. Incidentally, I have ordered the Charlemagne version of this game, and that's coming from a place called Game Nerds, and I've dealt with them in the past, and it's an excellent place to purchase board games. They actually have both games in stock. I just placed my order for the Charlemagne version of this on the 5th of December, so they have yet to receive that, but that will be coming. I'll probably do an unboxing for that just so that you can see what all comes in the game. And I'll tell you, you sure get your money's worth with this game between all of the models that you get, the cities, the great buildings, the leaders, and these are $75 for these games. It's amazing the value that you get. Beautiful artwork, and it's great gameplay. And I can only attest to the solitaire version, which I think is very good. I can imagine in a multiplayer setting, this would be even better. Now there's also an advantage if you own both games, Dark Ages and the Holy Roman Empire and the Charlemagne version. You can put these boards together and have one big massive game from England all the way into Eastern Europe, and you could fit up, I think it holds up to 8 players. So this would be a lot of fun whether you want solitaire or multiplayer. So that is about it, and I appreciate you watching. I know this was a long series, but I really wanted to give this game a run through utilizing its solitaire rules, and I hope I've conveyed the depth that this game has. I didn't necessarily use the best strategy in this, as you've seen based on the score, but I hope I demonstrated all of the strategic options that you have as whether it's a solitaire player or you're playing in a multiplayer game. It's just endless. Your culture track, your military units, your upgrades, your technologies, farms, warehouse. It's just great. And I hope I've demonstrated that with this playthrough. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again on the channel very soon. In the meantime, this is Keith signing off and wishing everyone a pleasant evening. Good night.